Chicago Blackhawks beat the Vancouver Canucks last night, 4-3 in a shootout to make it 16 straight games with at least 1 point, matching the NHL record start for a season, which was done, 06-07 Anaheim Ducks, as the only teams to record at least 1 point in their first 16 games of a season. Anaheim got off to a 12-0-4 start and then went on to win the Stanley Cup. In a strike-shortened season, do you think it's fair to assume that this could happen again? That the team that does this type of a performance to start their year has the ability to go on and win the Cup, especially in a strike-shortened season?
I don't think it's because it's a strike-shortened season. I mean, I think if anything, it helps them win because they're hot right now. And as long as they could stay hot, they'll be just fine. I mean, nobody's hotter, obviously, in the NHL than they are. So, yeah, I don't know. I think they could ride it out. I think they could have a good chance. I think they got to be the favorites right now to win it.
And I definitely obviously agree with that. Because I really think that in a strike-shortened season, this type of fast start gives you a confidence that you weren't playing your best hockey to start off the year. So if you're playing like this when you're not playing your best hockey and you're able to start off like this, I really think it's a sign that you can really say to yourself, like, wow, we have a real legit chance to make a real run at it. We really do. I'd love to have Fife on the phone. I really would. Fife, if you got a chance to call, man, 201-430-2119. I'd love to hear his opinion on it. Like, does he, I'd pretty much ask him the same question. And I mean, if you don't want to call Fife, you can type in the chat. It's cool. I don't mind. But they actually go for the record on Friday night. They're going to be home. They play the San Jose Sharks. It will be the second time in a week, though. But it's a situation where they got a good chance. The only problem for them is they could be without one of their best players and one of actually arguably the best players in hockey, Marian Hossa, who actually got hit in the back of the head yesterday. I think we got Fife to call. I laid down. There we go. There's the phone button. Is that you, my friend Fife?
Yes, it is.
How we doing, Mr. Hockey Man?
A little tired. How are you?
Doing well, sir. I love seeing your post that you playing hockey almost every day.
Yeah, it's been fun. I think I'm going to play in a little bit here.
Yeah, how's the back holding up?
Great. Back's good. Legs feel good. Everything's going. Weight's dropping off a little bit.
Very nice. Very nice. I'm very happy to hear that. So I'm dying to hear your opinion. Like I said just before, last time to do what Chicago did was the 06-07 Anaheim Ducks, who ended up going on and winning the Stanley Cup. Now, I believe they did that in a normal year, not a strike-shortened year. So like I said, the real question is, do you feel that, especially in a strike-shortened year, that with Chicago starting off like this, they have to be the favorite to go on and win the Cup?
I don't necessarily think that they have to be. You got to remember that it's a 6-day training camp. Everybody is kind of shaky at the moment. But still, I mean, I know we're 15 games into it, right around. But these guys still are, they're just getting into watching film on other teams instead of themselves and seeing where they need to go and what they need to do. Now they're able to see what other teams are doing. So you got to remember that the Blackhawks are one of those teams that they have been together for a while. So they come out and they know what they're doing with each other. That 6-day training camp is just, for them, it's pretty much a refresher course. And sometimes that's all you need if you've stayed in shape. So I think the other teams in the league eventually are going to catch up to them. I think, we've discussed this a few times, I think, about sports these days. I think the most important thing is to be hot at the end of the season. Yeah. And it's been, over the last, 5 years, it's been more and more prevalent. So one of the streaks that there is in the NHL now, I don't think it'll be broken, but is in 92, 93, the Pittsburgh Penguins went 18 games at the end of the season to gain a point. You know, they had 17 wins and 1 tie where they got a point in 18 games straight. So if somebody can do something like that, then that's the team I'm looking at that can, possibly go on to win the Cup. But the way you start the season, to me, isn't really, I mean, it's going to help them because, with it being a shortened season, they're not going to have as much pressure on them at the end of the year to win games to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But, we're going to have to see.
Now, sort of going off of that, what kind of impact is losing, possibly, because it hasn't been said that he's lost or not lost, but what's the impact if they lose Marian Hossa off of Chicago? I mean, getting hit in the back of the head, he had to leave the game, had to be helped off the ice. And what I'm thinking, all I think of when I hear that is Crosby and how long he was out with a head injury. Now, I'm not saying Hossa's Crosby, but he's a pretty damn good hockey player.
I'd have to say he's one, you have Taves, you got Kane. They have a really good team over there. They're deep, but Hossa's a big piece of the puzzle. I mean, any guy who makes the Stanley Cup Finals 3 years in a row with 2 different teams has to, he's got to be doing something right?
Yeah, exactly. He's got to have some type of positive impact, that's for sure.
I mean, I'd love to see him on that. If somebody said, hey, the Devils just signed Hossa, I'd be the happiest guy in the world. It's great as long as they didn't get rid of, Clarkson or Kovalchuk.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this Chicago team's been pretty impressive, but I saw the Hossa injury. I'm like, well, I mean, hopefully it's not a concussion and he's out long term. I mean, hopefully.
Well, like I said, the good thing about them is they've all been playing together for a good amount of time. So the next guy's going to be able to step up and at least do something in that role for them.
Okay.
Maybe not score and produce, but they're going to have guys who can step up.
All right. Now, before I let you go, why don't you let me know what you're thinking of the Devils right now? Just a broad point of view.
They can be shaky at times, but they fight. They go down 3-0, they fight back, and you can't ask for much more out of your hockey team. If I'm going to root for a team, they don't need to. I would. If you're going to give me the most skilled team or a team that's going to work the hardest at the pro level, give me the team that's going to work the hardest any day of the week. And these guys, they may not play the best hockey at all times, but they find a way to get it done, and they have a lot of heart, and you can tell that last year left them hungry. They want to get back, and they want to win it, and, partially for Marty, partially for Patty. They just want to get it done.
Yeah. Now, I'm looking at the standings right now. I mean, they have 22 points, which technically would tie them second with Pittsburgh, but they're technically the 4 seed right now.
Yeah, this year I think it's pretty much a sprint to the finish. It's just get in and get it done. As long as they stay in that top 4, I'm happy. Once you drop down to them bottom, 6, 7, 8, it's going to be difficult, and guys are going to be fighting at the end of the year.
Oh yeah, it's gonna. I'm telling you, I agree with you. I think the last couple of weeks of the hockey season is going to be a lot of fun, to be completely honest with you, because you're gonna. I mean, there's only, I'd say, 2 or 3 teams in the entire NHL right now that I just look at and say you have absolutely no chance.
Oh yeah, it's almost like with 15 games left, you're going to have an extension of the playoffs. The guys up at the top are going to be jostling for position, and then the guys at the bottom are going to be trying to get in. It's going to be interesting. I'd like to see the Islanders make the playoffs this year for some reason. Part of me is rooting for them, and I don't know why.
Well, they've been a roller coaster of a team this whole year already.
Offensively, they've been amazing, but their defense isn't that great. They went a period where they had 30 goals in 5 games, I believe, in the beginning of the year. And
that's a hell of a stretch.
They have some good young talent that's finally coming together.
Yeah. I know I was watching highlights or a little breakdown of them, and I mean, from what it seems like is they have these games where you're like, wow, you guys are really, really good, and then they have these games where you're like, who are you and why are you on the ice?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a little, it's almost amusing to watch, I guess you'd say.
Well,
but
it's funny with the roller coaster that they have. They went out and signed a goalie that's getting the Bach off, who's kind of a roller coaster too. But a lot of their problems have been that big contract they gave Rick DiPietro a long time ago. And, it's just wasted a lot of money because the guy's probably played 4 games in 3 years.
Yeah. I'm looking at the Islanders right now. I mean, they've scored 46 goals this year, which really isn't that bad in the Eastern Conference. I mean, it put them like 7th or 8th. But the problem is they've given up 57, which is more than anybody else.
They've done a great job offensively in their draft and getting young talent, and even bringing in a guy like Brad Boy as a little veteran leadership to their offense. Defensively is where they got to go. They've been building for a long time now, and they finally have some pieces to the puzzle. So you can see them in the draft now. They can start to focus on smaller things instead of needing to focus on the big picture, or they can pull in off a free agency. As long as their general manager goes in the direction he's going and builds up that defense, maybe gets a little bit better of a goalie, maybe they got something in the works through the minors, or maybe they got somebody they're scouting. You never know. Those guys could make a run.
Yeah.
But they have a little bit further to go before they become contenders. But to see them in the first round of the playoffs would be great for the Devils.
Yeah, right. There you go. Take the little bit of an easy step. Yeah, I'm taught. They've literally given up 6 more goals than any other team in the entire league. And, I mean, let's be serious. That should be, if the goaltender's at least good to a little bit above good, at least 3 games. You know what I mean? Like 2-3 games worth of goals they've given up more than anybody else. So, I mean, that hurts. But